Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another session of daily recaps. And today's date is February 13th. It is a Friday, and we took one trade here. It wasn't this NQ long, it was this YM long here, and we came out with a break even. Very simple trade. Stops was here, and then my trade was up to CPI's high, and then looking for that 4-hour internal range that was located up there. So with this being said, this was my whole trade, and let's drop into it from the top down. Looks like NQ is probably going to be able to get there and not YM, but just the lackluster delivery is going to be a little bit more it's just not that great right now, right? So we finished the day a long time ago, but we'll just go and cover it now. So again, dropping in from the weekly time frame, I'm really looking at the weekly just for our overall market structure. It's pretty bullish right now on YM, very bearish on NQ though. I would like to see these lows become my target for the near coming future, but just not today. Reasoning why not today is just because we see what happens in the early time period of the week, right? So here on the early time period, we see an accumulation, and this is my weekly open here. It's not, it really isn't just all dependent on that, right? Like, I'm bullish because of the fact that it's Friday. It's not like anything super serious. I'm not going to front to you there, right? You have all of these lows that we'd like to go to here on YM eventually, but just not today. Why not today? Because market has pumped down to the downside on this Thursday. Friday is opening down here. Looking at the weekly open in itself, do I really think that I want to go down lower? All the way down to here today on a Friday? I don't think so. Fridays are lower volatility. I'm not really trying to set the most craziest fucking weekly candle here on a Friday, right? So if I'm not trying to fade and if I'm not trying to fade and set the most craziest weekly candle on a Friday, where would I more so want to trade? If price has expanded, right? I honestly, like, the whole week I was getting fucked because I wanted these highs here, but didn't happen, right? And we broke through all of these lows. So once you break through these lows, you can anticipate lower prices. But why was I not bearish here? It's just because I don't want to set fucking crazy lows here on a Friday. I'd much rather rebalance the range to set up for next week to do what? For next week to open high and then continue lower. Because why? The wick of the weekly candle, and nothing is really supporting that bearish expansion for the most craziest fucking weekly candle of all time. I'd much rather go and trade external to internal, because after expansion can happen a different phase in price. You have multiple 4-hour expansion candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expansion candles to the downside. I want to rebalance the range to go and rebalance this gap and then go push us down to the downside, right? That was my main objective for the day, and that was what I was looking for. And it looks like NQ tried its hardest to do that, and it created equal highs without those highs. But basically, basic reasons why as well is we do have a 6 a.m. C2, which is also a 6 a.m. PSP. So that this being a PSP, we got a cracking correlation forming the lowest point of the day. And there is a possibility that we can see us going upwards now. So with this PSP, 4-hour, looking for 10 a.m. to expand up to the upside. Looking here on the hourly, we do have an hourly C2, right? And it does push us back into the range with a sharp reaction. 30-minute push. We do have a 30-minute candle closure above as well. Not something that did happen while I was in the trade, but we can see everything did react off of this low. So with that reaction off of that low, what do we look for? The V-shaped reversal. With the V-shaped reversal, we have a CISD here on NQ, and NQ takes out CPI's high. After CPI's high gets tapped into, NQ makes a deeper retracement. NQ does make that deeper retracement and does push us a little bit further into the range here with that with a deeper pullback versus YM, still kind of holding a very higher up in that premium discount. So that's why I kind of chose YM, because NQ made a deeper retracement. It's not reversing though. So right now there is SMT at that CPI high, but what is happening here is it's not reversing. If price is not going to reverse off of this high, then what does that mean, right? This is like consolidation. What is NQ doing? Waiting for YM to catch up. So once I seen YM going close over this candle, this is telling me that what YM is switching strengths into the more bullish asset, as this same CISD is located up here. So the correlated CISD is located all the way at the top of this leg. NQ is down here, still giving us a CISD, telling me that it's ready to go up to the upside, right? So NQ is ready to go up to the upside. It's just YM is a lot more stronger to the upside, so that's why I took YM. This is off of the 10 a.m.'s opening price as well. So 10 a.m. does open up and has a very small wick and creates an obvious invalidation to my trade, which is going to be considered this low here, which is the OB low. So when I'm looking at 10 a.m. is then as I'm looking at it as a volatility injection, where now we do have a small wick on the 10 a.m. candle. 10 a.m. is ready to go up, and then I enter right here off of the CISD with that very strong candle closure, very full as well. And it was a very fast candle as well. And I'm aiming for that internal range liquidity, which is located up here. So with that internal range liquidity, I went break even. When do I go break even? As soon as that SMT high does get broken. So with this CPI high, I go break even as well. Why as well? Because not only because it's like, okay, fucking SMT high. It's Friday, for one. For two, it's very relevant in terms of the next relative high. Like, there is nothing in this area except for this one. So with that being said, this high means a lot to price. If we're going to rip through it, I wanted to see it rip like immediately. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to see it fuck around. I'm trying to see it break through here and then find support to go and file itself upwards, right? So what am I saying? I was anticipating for it to just break through this high and then find support to go upwards, and we don't really want to see any deep pullbacks anymore. Because why? If we do a deep pullback, this becomes low resistance liquidity, and that's not something that I want to be a part of, right? Did that happen? No. Price hit this high, and then we immediately got stopped out of break even, which is fine. You know what I mean? I was shooting for 3R anyway, and it was a pretty decent trade overall in that case. Another entry as well for this long was going to be considered NQ. NQ's long was like that retap if you wanted to. I'm more of a market execute kind of guy, and you could have held to 2R, where your stops would have to be breaking even at the highest point here, which is relative to these highs here, like that. And then now you can take notice that, yeah, you'd have to be a break even because you're passing the current high day. So in reality as well, we're looking at like a nice daily open low profile, setting the low with PSP, expansion away, going to internal range liquidity. And that was basically the trade idea there. Market hit these highs and it makes deep retracements. When you see these deep retracements, these do not support bearish expansion or bullish expansion, right? Deep retracements is not an expansion quality. It's more so just what? Fucking retracing. Basically exactly what we want to see is a retrace back up to those highs. Why? Because we want to set up for Monday to go and rip through all of this low resistance liquidity on the way back. So that is actually what we are trading, as the retracement, not the expansion. So yeah, that's basically the trade idea there. Got stopped out of break even. I am break even on the week. I called it a day a long time ago. I just wanted to see if NQ was going to get up to these highs. So I just kind of put the recording on hold for the time being, and I got ready for other shit as well. But other than that, that is pretty much it. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I am break even on the week. A little bit more tough of a week for me, but fuck it, dude. I'll take it. I'll take the break even. Definitely some things that need to be improved. But yeah, getting there. We're slowly getting there. All right. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next session. Have a great weekend, and yeah, I'll call it there. Peace.